Hello everyone, thank you for joining iRocket official server. And my name is Murat. I'm a co-founder of CEO of iRocket. And today we have with us our community manager uh, and also the marketing manager and other members of the team also. Yeah, so what is iRocket? Let's start with describing what is iRocket and what we're building. iRocket AI app will be a geo-based mobile game with play-to-earn system that will allow players to start playing and earning without any initial fee. Players within the game will be space explorers, will search, capture, collect, train, evolve, and battle artist creatures. And GPS is used to match the player's real-world location with the virtual world, and when Arctic creatures will appear in the virtual world, augmented reality is used to overlay the art on the real world view from a mobile camera. All the items and creatures within the game will be NFTs, so the players will be able to capture them and further on use them or sell them on the official marketplace, which will be in place. Um, Moving on to the questions we got in our MA questions. Let's start. Yeah, I think you can see me right now too. Yeah. So the first question was about the governance of the project and what kind of decisions the players will be able to make during the voting process. So the game will have governance as the main currency IRO itself, and the players will be able to vote on regarding the updates within the game, such as adding new creatures, where their live events will be, next live event, uh, where we should place the new sites of the buildings, for example, reconstructing a Times Square in New York or any other place. So mainly the the changes within the game will be voted by the players. And also the mechanism which will allow the players to vote on the structures, how the structures of the game will be changed, like the 3D models of them and different integrations with other projects as well. So the second question was almost every investor holds the tokens for the short term. So how we will structure the long term beneficial for the long term for the players, and what's the plan to increase the demand and scarcity of the token. So we're planning to release the game in stages. So the first stage of the game will be out at the first weeks of August or the end of July, and prior to that we will be having early access within the game as well. And the game at the stage will have a co-functionality with a player versus environment mechanics. Afterwards, we will be releasing monthly updates to the game where we'll present lands mechanics, clans, player versus players, and lands customizations. Within the year, the game will have at least 200 creatures. So it will be constantly upgraded during this stage of the project with a voting governance as well. Um, yeah. Moving on, the third question was about the lens mode and how the lens work within the iRocket metaverse. So basically, what we do is we divide the world into the rectangles, depending on the population of the zone. So there will be up to 3 million lands within the game, and the players will be able to own them. And the lands is a zone for the players on the playing field with the different colors. and certain rules for the game on this zone. The player who purchased the land will have special features, such as they will receive a certain percentage from other players battling on their land. So, for example, if you own a land in this super popular place, for example, in the Times Square, so you'll earn from each player on that spot who will battle NPC creature. So kind of a small percentage, so it's passive income. The players will also be able to create tasks and quests. So it's kind of an adventure mode where you can create, like, for your friends and clan members, adventure on your land, and they can follow it. And also they will be able to organize raids, which they can go solo or with the co-op mode with the clans members or with the friends. So there will be a lot to do on the lands mechanics. As well, we will be putting up with a constructor where they will be able to change the lands visuals for the to view for the other players, and different customization mechanics like banners and all the stuff. So moving on, the next question: how would you manage your platform in the event of unexpected events such as hack in the future? How many procedures are in place to prevent this from occurring? Or what is your team potential response course of action? Well, we already partnered with two big audit firms who will monitor security issues within our game. So prior to the app release, we'll be having an audit, as well as we will also have an in-house forensic security team who will check the flaws in our security daily. Regarding the cheating, we also take it very serious, and the use of bots will not be tolerated within the iRocket game. Our system will monitor the activities of players, and if any suspicious activity is detected, the account will be frozen and referred to the moderation. The cheating for sure will not be tolerated, and we want to make accessible game where anyone will have a fair chance to win. And yeah, moving on, the next question is about the marketplace and what abilities it will give to the players and what they can do there. So the game will have, and the project will have, its own marketplace where the players will be able to sell their items, buy their items or creatures, as well as rent creatures. So the players will be able to rent them and sell them as well. I will actually also show that we can see that we can show the demo of it as well, but we'll see of the marketplace. But it will also be a cross chain, so you will be able to use the funds from other projects, blockchains within the marketplace as well. If you guys have any questions from now, you can also ask me. If no, I can move on and answer the questions you asked in my question notes. Yeah, I can hear.
May I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
So these rules are important to investigate for joining your project is the transparency, profitability, and security. So what you can tell us about these three elements of your project?
So about the security, as I said before, we will be doing audit within the game during the year, like 3 or 4 times for the big firms, and also we will have a in-house forensic team who will be tracking the flaws in our security daily. We also already have a forensic security member who is already checking and doing the diligence on the constructing the base infrastructure of the project, so it will be secure for sure.
I ask now.
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah,
question
okay,
is,
so I heard you say something about the land on the iRocket, right? So I want to know, like, what does it take to possess a piece of land, and like, how can landowners generate income from their lands when they're held by users, and what are the advantages?
So yeah, we're still thinking on the how we'll be structuring the lens mechanics to the players. So probably we'll be doing something like the players will be able to kind of deposit their money and subscribe to their lens. So for example, you will not be purchasing as other projects the lens, and probably you will be uh, subscribing to the lens you want to own. So for the duration of time, for example, it's half a year, so you just a usual subscription for the half a year, and that's it. And you can then own it, customize it, and other stuff as well.
So yeah, you also said something about the marketplace.
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, this marketplace enables gamers to engage and communicate one another. So I'm hoping that this mechanism will prevent our personal information from being exposed. Like, do you have any criteria or any
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like what do you have in place for that?
So basically, the only thing which will be shown up to the other users on the marketplace is your who you are as an address, your address or public address, and that's it. So you're the seller, and the only visible thing on the marketplace will be your address.
Do you guys have a
And
beta version of it?
yeah, so pre the official launch, there will be a beta early access version of it.
Sorry, when will that be coming out? Is it available now already?
Well, regarding the NFT marketplace, it will be out I think in June. So just for the users to check it out, touch it, so to see how it's structured. And regarding to the game, it will be out in August or end of July, depending on the market situation, of course. So yeah.
So like when the game is out, you guys
Sorry, didn't hear, mate.
didn't
Can you
get the last one. I said, like, is there any requirement to start playing the game when it's out? Like, do I play it on the website, or do you guys plan on using an app?
Yeah, so the app will be out on iPhones and Androids. So you'll be able to download it on Apple Store or Google Play, and also as a package on the website. There will be releasing a package system which you can just click and download the app with the package.
Thank you for
So
the
it will be
answer.
yeah, yeah.
You can
may I
continue if you want to continue.
ask my question, please?
Didn't get you.
I said you can
May I
Can you
continue if
ask?
repeat?
you want.
Sure. So
Are you there?
if
Can you hear
there
me?
is no further question, let's move on. I will I'll answer
I have a,
the other questions. So um,
can anybody hear me?
regarding the as we all know, the question, as we know, all depends on Bitcoin. I mean, if Bitcoin is down, most of altcoins are down. So my question is, how you handle this problem, and what's your future plans for Do You Coin Strong? Well, we'll be structuring our treasury proper way, in a proper way, where we'll be splitting it up in kind of 3 coins as our main currency, IRO, the blockchain which will be building the app, and Bitcoin as well. So using that, it will be more stable. And on top of that, we will be using, as we announced previously, mechanims firm, which in order to make a sustainable economy, they will be doing a simulation on our PTE economy and as well as market economy. And they will be researching it and supporting us during a long run. The next one is how can you bridge the gap among traditional blockchain gamers, convince more traditional players to try out the new blockchain game? Is your project exclusively for gamers? What about non-gamer users? And is it possible for them to profit even if they don't participate in your game? Well, yeah, we are actually more focused on the non-crypto gamers because, first of all, it's free-to-play game. So you don't need to purchase, for example, NFT in order to play a game. You will be straightforward, will be able to play the game from zero to end. And the players basically will be capturing the creatures. And after you, for example, capture the creature, specific amount of them, you'll be able to mint your first one and then proceed with battling the NPC creatures on map and joining raids and battling other players. And in order to make it as easy as it gets, where the UI, user experience and user interaction will be pretty easy within the app. And the players will be able to also do off-ramp, on-ramp pretty easy within the app as well. And the next one is about the main currencies, like the Jon Snow asking, I saw you have 2 tokens, Dust and IRO. Why have built 2 tokens method? Could you please explain to us the tokens utility? Yeah, so the project iRocket will have 2 currencies. IRO, governance token, is the iRocket ecosystem default money, where the players will be able to do payments. IRO is accepted as a form of payment in the iRocket marketplace for buying and selling artists, as well as paying trading fees, for example. And holding IRO may be necessary for some protocol-driven purchases and auctions. The users will also be able to stake the IRO token, where the participants can use the crypto protocol to lock their tokens, stake them, and for the specific amount of time, and earn from that. The governance will also be in place using the main token IRO, where so the players will need to in order to play to earn tokens, they will need to stake, play the game, and vote, and then they will earn a percentage of the PTE tokens. And unlike, for example, IRO, the Dust will have no initial allocation. It's minted from 0 by iRocket players, which technically means it's a fair launch cryptocurrency. 100% of Dust that will exist is also in circulation, and they will continually on in the game. So the players will be burning them, earning during the process. A new artist will appear, and depending on the rarity of the artist, player needs also more dust to acquire its location to capture it. So there will be different integration within the currency, within the game, especially the dust. Yeah. And next one is from a hub buffer. In-game NFTs such as characters, artists, and items integrable with other metaverse projects such as Decentraland and Sandbox. Well, as within the game, we'll be able to partner with any project The game will enable us to put headquarter buildings of other projects which users can visit and get incentive from it. The partner projects will be able to customize their lands and host local quests and events for their users and players to interact with it. Moreover, we can integrate other metaverse projects and import their creatures in our metaverse. So there are a lot of things we can do together with other projects. And as well, for example, giving away our creature models to integrate on the Decentraland sandbox can be in future for sure. The next one is from Oliver Nom Nom. I read white paper and have a question regarding token sale and vesting. Most projects dump hard after an initial hype due to vesting and dumping of VCs. Is the vesting in the white paper properly planned to protect small holders? Well, for sure, yeah. As you checked, we have a specific cliff and vesting period for the token holders. So depending on the vesting, we will be releasing the tokens during the stage of the project. So because we're part of machinations and we have a pretty neat the vesting procedure, I don't think that we will have a dumping of VCs because we will have a structured vesting procedure. So you can relax and everything will be alright. Next one. Let's see. So the next one is from Logos. In your roadmap, I read an interesting point that you are going to implement in Q1 lens constructor. Does it mean that we can also make use of lens and buy accessories, trade them as NFTs within the AR metaverse? And do you envision a virtual parallel metaverse in the real world where the users can connect with the world using iRocket as a currency to buy lands and props? Definitely, we are visioning it like that because the whole world will be constructed and generated from zero using our custom 3D models, like building models, and the players will be basically able to go on the website of the lens constructor and change, if they have a land, the visuals of this land. For example, putting on the banner, hologram, changing the structure of the building, and the other players will be able to see it afterwards. So if you change in any location in the world where you own the land, their buildings, so the other players, if they walk near it, will see the changes. And also we will be looking to integrating the other metaverses and brands. So the brands will be in places also where the users will be able to purchase some goods and elements from other brands using iRocket token. And the next one is mine from Cutie's Voice. My main worry is the liquidity pool. What's the source of LP? What the proceeds of the sale of NFTs? Could you please share with us? Well, a percentage of funds raised within will be used for liquidity. And we also made provisions in our token economics where we will reserve a percentage of the entire token pool for the liquidity also. So it will be well structured and there will be no problem in the liquidity pool for sure. So moving on, the next question is I'd like to ask about the iRocket listing plans, where iRocket will be listed, which platform, and will more DEXs and SEXs list the iRocket token in the future? In regards to listing, we will focus on building the project currently. We are focused on the building the project currently, and due to market conditions, it's not even suitable to list the project in these conditions since it will be more harm for the project right now. But we are, of course, planning, and we are already talked with several exchanges on the listing. We have it in plans, so we are just finishing structuring the elements of the game, and then moving on, we will be doing that. And let's see, one more from Jenny G. As a player, I'd like to get some practice in without making any investments or purchasing NFTs. Is there a demo, beta test, or practice mode available for your platform? Is your game a free experience for players? Well, as I said before, the game is free to play. Anyone will have a chance to start playing the game. And regarding to the demo or beta test, we will be actually soon be publishing the way of for the early adopters to have a early access beta version of the game prior to the public launch. It will be out in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So there some players will be able to join the beta test procedure, of course. So prior to the public launch in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the beta test. So probably it will be in July. Uh, yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
Oh yeah, I have a question. Can I go ahead?
I, I have a question.
Okay, can you guys buy one? Yeah, okay, you can ask.
Hey guys, I want to ask that what's your main goals in this 2022?
What's the main goal of what?
What's your main goal?
I mean, to create the most hype, fun to play game out there because we think that in the current stage, the games in especially in crypto are more focused on the holding and crypto speculations, not on the gaming basis like usual gaming. It should be fun, and the main focus is it to make the game as fun as it gets.
Thanks. So, do you have any plans to burning your tokens to increase the value of your token?
Sorry, didn't get your question. Can you repeat?
Do you have any plans to burning your token?
Yeah, so the token will be out also like pre to the launch of the game, or will be. I mean, when the public sale will be in place, we'll be releasing an announcement of it, where we'll be probably using the IDO platform, and they basically anyone can will be able to purchase them. We'll also do like a whitelist for that, so we will publish the news on Discord and Twitter in future about that.
Thank you so much.
No, no worries.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I have a question.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, guys, can you by one? Yeah,
Who's going first?
yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, let me first.
Yeah, sure.
my question is my question
No?
is
Yeah.
what is the top priority of your project in this year?
I mean, to release the game and main mechanics of the game for sure. So there will be a first part of the game where they will be implementing the player versus environment mechanics, and they're moving on the lanes, player versus player. So basically, main priority is publishing the game out. Uh, yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you for your information.
no worries.
Hello, I have a question.
Hey, can I ask my question?
Sure, guys, you can.
All right. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I asked this question, but I just want you to quickly answer it because I might get busy very soon. I pasted it in the AMA questions already, but I want to know, all the questions everyone has been asking is, about the tokenomics, about the gameplay, and but one thing that I've come to know is that augmented reality is pretty expensive, because I've seen how your game will look like on the website from all the research I've done and also from the white paper, and I know it's just pretty expensive. And the fact that I don't need to have anything before I play your game is basically free to play. So I wonder, how exactly do you generate income? How do you make money, for yourself and the team members through the game? How exactly does it happen? Because that the fact that you also give out tokens for, catching artists and winning the game and winning rounds and all. That's my first question.
Yeah. So basically, how the game will be structured is you will start the game, and then you'll be capturing the creatures on map. They are not NFTs. At first, they're just models. So the creature models on the map. After you capture the specific amount of them, you will mint the first common one. So regarding the balancing altogether, the one thing comes into it is the number of battles the creature can have, because it's limited. For example, if it's common creature, it will have, for example, 40. If it's rare, it can have 80. It's super rare, it can have 150, and so on. So depending on the rarity of the creature, the amount of battles it can have is limited. And for example, after you get your first creature and you start battling NPC creatures, well, you need to strategize first, because you will not be able to beat all the creatures on the map, because depending on the classes of the creature and the level of your creature, you will be able to defeat specific types of creatures on the map. And after if you will, for example, beat the boss, and you will earn the in-game currency, dust, and then you can proceed with buying hunting the new creature or rare creature, for example, paying with the in-game currency, using power-ups to increase the level of your creature and overall its damage, HP, intelligence, or just increasing the evolve amount, which will increase the number of battles the creature can have. So it's like a MMORPG kind of style game, where the users will need to think first, of course, think first in order to battle the creature. Uh, so pretty much you will need to strategize your way in order to be on the top. And regarding the players will be just playing for free. Well, if you will get only common creatures, you will not get the most of the out of the game, because the raid creatures and top level NPC bosses on the map will have uh, a higher level, so your creature probably will not be able to beat them. And also within the game will be a lock structure where the users will not be able, like after you, for example, win a in-game currency, you will not be able to straight away withdrawing it. There will be a 10 days lock period. So after 10 days, you can release your coins on whatever purpose you want. Yeah.
I have a question, sir.
All right,
Sure.
all right, all right.
So,
Excuse. I have just one more question. I have just one more question. I'm very sorry if I'm
okay.
disturbing it. But MX, are you there with me? The
Yeah.
other question I have is you mentioned something right now. You said the game is all about capturing artists and owning artists, and but one thing I want to know is if the artists are the NFT characters, so how many artists are there in total? And also from the game you have dual token, so I don't really understand that. Are the token, you have Dust and iRock, are they
Yeah.
interchangeable for each other, or how exactly can you utilize them? I think that's my question, and I hope I get picked. So yeah, I'm listening.
Sure. So the game will have at the start 10 creatures. So basically, you'll be able to mint 10 at the start. So depending on the class of the creature, you'll be able to mint it. And 8 NPC bosses on the map. And during each month, like so on, we'll be updating the game with more creatures. And at the final stage, we're looking at least at 200 creatures. So you will be able to mint 200 creatures. And regarding the tokens, so can, yeah, regarding the tokens, so the in-game currency dust will be used mainly for the purposes within the game. Like we will have 3 burnable features. Uh, Hunting fees. If you want to hunt a rare arty, you will just click on the button and the game will show you the location of your rare creature which you want to get. It's like an alternative to the breeding, which everyone knows. Like the most popular thing on the crypto is like breeding, but we instead will be doing hunting. So you will be hunting the rare creatures if you pay it in in-game currency. And the second one is power-ups, which will be increasing the overall creature stats, so it will be more powerful. And the third is evolve, so it will increase the battle amount of the creature. And regarding that is so the 3 features which will be used as a in-game currency mechanics. And we'll also be integrating the IRO within the game because it will be used in live events, specific occasions like uh, in-game uh, bonuses and, for example, a tournament fund, because the tournament fund will also be in main currency.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure. Gonna.
Uh,
Yeah.
should I carry on?
Yeah.
Audit plays an important role in enhancing the stability of any project. So, do you have any audit certificates, or are you working on it to make it more secure and reliable?
You mean regarding the working with other projects?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will have we'll publish news about the partnership with other projects next week. So we already like partnered with several projects. So it's on a roadmap as well. So because we also will have a lens and all these headquarter buildings of other projects, so it will be easy to integrate with the other projects for sure.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, you can. Mama.
I have a question about artists, sir. For artists, I'd like to know about the basis for the rarities. Would it be traits or it would be purely fundamental such as health,
speed, damage, or yeah, traits.
Sure. So it's actually will be also releasing encyclopedia kind of uh, page because it's kind of a lot of information to get because the creatures will have basically the stats which will show up the power level of the creature. For example, you have a creature which have HP, how many HPs health it has, the damage it can deal with, the strength, intelligence, agility, like the number of evasions it can do, and combining all together, it gives you the power level of the creature. For example, if it's a common creature, it can be like 200, 300 power level, but if it's super legendary kind of style creature, it can be up to 1000 or more. And also, all the creatures will have abilities. So there will be 2 active abilities and 2 passive abilities. And these abilities will represent the creature visuals as NFTs. So, for example, if you have an active ability, for example, it's a fire creature, it can do fire blast, and the second one will have a strike ability. Depending on the class of the creature, it will show up the visuals. For example, fire strike, and to passive abilities. For example, the creature can have armor or more speed or evasion. For example, 15% evasion or 20% more critical damage. So it's the passives, and they will have different variations. Like probably the abilities will have like up to 100 variations within them. So every creature will be different from each other.
Oh, got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Okay, I would like to ask a question too.
Hey. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking about like during the process of building the games and everything, like what are the challenges you came about, or what are the things you've passed through and how you've overcome them, and what are your main priority right now with regard to your project? Like what are you mainly focusing on right now?
Well, thank you for your question. The main focus right now is releasing the game out and going public with the game. So, we want to make the game available to everyone. It will be. We want to basically, the main focus is to put out the game in Apple Store and Google Play during the August. So yeah, we are mainly focusing on that right now to publish the game out.
Okay. So regarding the interface for the game and everything, will it really be user friendly for new users into playing games like that, or people that are not familiar with it?
Yeah, I mean, the user interface is the main priority, and from my experience, as I built the game apps before, the user interface is really important, and for sure, we almost like on 90% we already built all the structures of the user interface, and it looks really easy to use. And yeah, I mean, it will be really, really outstanding and in the proper way for the users to be navigating through app pretty easy.
Okay, thanks so much for the answer. Thanks so much.
Sure,
Great
sure.
job.
We actually have a question from the user who don't have a mic. One sec. As a GPS-based game, it requires moving from one place to another to capture different kinds of artists. Recently, there has been a surge on move-to-earn projects such as walking, running, and biking. Is the project considering having its own move-to-earn features, or the team learns more on partnering with other projects regarding on this. Well, yeah, the game will be GPS based, and depending on the geolocation, you will see the lands around you and the creatures around you. And also the creatures will be not randomly kind of spawning. So, for example, the water class creatures will be more. There will be more of them in the, for example, water areas like rivers, lakes, or seas. And other classes will be have also different kind of popular places where the users will be capturing them. And on Move to Earn, we will have quests. Basically, the quest which will be, for example, if you walk 2 or 3 miles during the day, you will earn in-game currency. So there will be different quests, different variations of them during the day, and if you complete them, you will get the tokens. And also on the question on regarding on the biking and all this stuff. So the game will also track the speed. So there will be limited speed the player can move. For example, if you're in a car, the game will tell you stop. So basically, it will not be you will not be able to capture the creatures because it's cheating to move fast. And yeah, this is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer it. So
I have a question, please.
sure, man.
Okay, so my question is, um, I've read vast and through your white paper, so I want to ask, can I decide to choose? I know your game is all about catching artists, making coins of making artists, catching artists and all, but can I choose between to be an arty and to be an hero? I read that artists are very smart, they're very intelligent, so you don't want to get too close to them to catch them. So don't you think it would be fun if I play as an arty to run away from the heroes that are trying to capture me? I see you laughing, man. So my other question is artists vary in abilities. Do they also vary in rarities? Like if I catch,
Yeah,
since they're going to be NFTs, if I catch some specific artists, would the value of my NFT or my coin be greater than catching some other, very common artists? Also, what do you think about NFT merging, renting, lending, and transfer? And one last question. I'm very sorry. I just want to ask everything now. I'm very sorry. How exactly can I increase my matchmaking ranking in the game? I read about this in your game and I'm very interested. How can I increase it aside from only playing the game? So if I can get the answers to my questions, please.
sure. So moving on from first question, so the players will be able. I mean, from the start, you will be able to select your main character, the Space Explorer, which will represent your location, kind of. So, where is your location, your Space Explorer will stand. And with that, you will be capturing the creatures. And when, for example, the augmented reality mode will start, you'll need to think first to strategize your capturing process. Because if you get really close to Artie, you can scare it and it will run away. So there will be different mechanics on AR capturing within the AR mode. So yeah, the players will need to strategize it for sure. Moving on to the second one regarding the artists and the different classes. As I said before, yeah, the creatures will have 4 different perks and the overall creature power level. And depending on that, you will be fighting the NPC bosses. Of course, you can go on and fight the NPC boss, which will be super high level. But if you are looking to fight it with a common creature, you will probably lose a point of the battle count and will lose the battle, which will not get you anything. So the users will need to think first when they want to battle the creatures. as well as a rate, which will be in place too. So you can, for example, plan on going to the raid with your friend or with the random people in the co-op. And if you beat the boss, you will get a in-game currency or NFT item, or if it's a super legendary boss, you can also get an NFT creature straight away. I think I've answered to all. If not, you can correct.
I asked about NFT lending.
Oh
NFT
yeah.
NFT lending, NFT renting, NFT merging, and then the last question was about increasing my, MMR.
Yeah. So you will be able to, for example, to rent the creatures on the marketplace, as well as, for example, if you get a rare one, you can put it in marketplace, and the other place will rent it. Pretty straightforward. So you can also do it within the app, so it will be pretty easy to do. And regarding the matchmaking ranking, when we will have a system of the clans and the player versus player, the matchmaking or ranking will start. So basically, we will have seasons, 4 seasons during the year. We'll also have a battle pass. There will be like a free battle pass and a paid battle pass with the in-game currency. So if you want to get more bonuses, you will need to purchase a season, and you will get more like in-game items or creatures, which will help you to earn more. And so yeah, basically we'll have seasons, and depending on the season, you will get a specific amount of the matchmaking ranking, depending on how many fights you had with the other players. And also, if you have a clan or you are a member of a clan, depending on that, the system will also calculate it and improve your ranking position. Did I answer everything?
Yes, beautifully, beautifully. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions, guys?
Sir, I got the last one. Can I ask?
Sure, man.
Do you have any plan about Asian countries to explain the iRocket in Asian countries later on?
Sure. I mean, the game will be focused worldwide, so we will start doing the promo events and overall marketing on the Asian market for sure, because we know it's huge and there are a lot of gamers out there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your question. So let me just check. I'm checking the AMA questions, and we have a question regarding the ambassadors to the iRocket project. The drug people, what are the steps involved in the process? Yeah, so we planned this, and we'll be releasing soon the ambassadors program out there. It will be a Medium article, which will release pretty soon regarding that. So yeah, the info will be updated pretty soon. Let's see. The next one is many players are only interested in the price of tokens and NFTs without really paying attention to the true core value that the project brings. How does your project make players understand the core value of NFTs and tokens? Make players hold and not sell them after playing. Uh, I mean, as the creatures will not be kind of they will not have infinite amount of life during the if you so basically it will have a limited time of the battles you can have, and on the marketplace as well you will see the if you buy or rent a creature you will straight away see how many battles it has left. So the supply will be also decreasing, and demand regarding the game, depending on the game, will also be increasing or decreasing. So it's kind of balanced. And the price will also be balanced because we will be implementing oracles, which will be tracking the main currency, iRocket, and depending on its price, the system will be automatically changing how many in-game currency the player needs to pay for the NFT. Do you guys have any questions left?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hey, how are you doing?
I have a additional question.
Sure.
My question is, if a pump and dump project come through your ranks, there is a high possibility that it will give infinite launch, a bad name, a hence effect token price. How do you intend to verify the integrity and authenticity of a project before aiding them launch?
Well, regarding the pump and dump, for sure, will not be uh, tolerating this. Well, we have structured token vesting and cliff for that, and regarding also the events and also the team tokens, they are locked for a long time, like 1 year cliff, 24 months vesting. The team will be all, like mainly focusing on the development of the game. That's it. So we are thinking on it. Like also we are thinking on how to make it as as better as it gets.
Okay, sir. I don't. I understand.
Sure. Thank you for your question. Let's see. Okay, let's do one. I see the question, last one. Um, while building the project, is the team open into taking account demands from the community and their feedback for possible changes to the game? For example, a specific feature in the roadmap which is yet to be released soon is viewed more favorable by users. Would the team consider on building first what users viewed as more important? For sure. I mean, the users are my main priority, and regarding on the vote, we will be structuring or restructuring the uh, releases of the specific elements of the game. So the main priority are users because the game is developed not by for the development team, but for the actual users. And before going to full public launch, will there be alpha testers? Yeah, there will, and we'll be releasing an announcement on how to get it. We'll be releasing soon a update on how the users can can work, can integrate with that. So basically, can go and fill in the form, and they will be able to get update on that. And regarding Dust token, is the supply limited to a certain extent? Did the team consider having potential problems on secondary tokens, SLP, for example? The Dust will have it doesn't have a limited supply, so it can be infinite. And why it's kind of balanced is because the artist creatures are the lifetime of them is limited, so basically the supply will be balanced, and because of that, the users will be um, like spending more dust tokens, so the dust token will also be balanced during the time. So I think we will not for sure will have the same problem as SLP because from their perspective, because they have a breeding game and the NFTs are the supply of the NFTs is increasing like always, so that's why they have had a problem with that. And will there be tiers for the token holders, e.g. 1k tokens, 5k tokens, 10k tokens, where holders in each tier will have perks and privileges such as address, whitelist for sales, special DAO proposal, etc. Kind of like that. So as I said before, when we will be releasing the info about the early access, there will be a announcement on that, how to do that. So it's also regarding that because the users who will be a part of that event, they will have the perks such as token and whitelist and special also the in-game bonuses. And can you give us extensive information regarding the spawn rate of artists? Does higher rarity and stats equates to lower chance of spawning in specific area? Also, how does spawn rate work as user-based NFT supply as well? So, depending on the class of the creature, for example, if it's water creature, it will be spawning more in the places where is water located, like rivers, seas, or lakes. And if it's, for example, energy creature, there will be specific zones for that too. So kind of like that. And regarding the spawn rate, there will be a specific rate for that, where the users can also capture the creatures from home, so they will not need to go out always and get the arty creatures. But you will not spend all your energy during the day you have if you will be capturing only from home. So you need to think about that too. And regarding the uh, spawning, regarding the rarity of the creatures, so the users will be only able to capture the creatures, like the rare creatures, in raids or specific events, because the users will only be able to capture the common creatures on the map. So, for example, if you capture 200 of them or 100 of them, you will be able to mint a common creature and only common creature. But if you want to get a rare one, you will need to be playing the game for a little bit and just paying the hunting fees, or you, if you get lucky, you can get it in the raid, for example. If a raid will be in place near you, you can join it, and if you beat the main boss, you will get a creature or in-game item as an NFT. I think that's it. Thank you guys for your all the questions. I think we can sum up today's AMA. and we'll be releasing more info about the rules to get the specific rewards in the community within these 2-3 days. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for joining in. Yeah. I think it's the end for our AMA.